adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm very excited about our next guest because they have some killer music. So let's welcome to the show Sam from Killed by Sorrow. How are you?
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me over, Mr. the Pipeman. It's a pleasure to be here, an honor also, and been checking you out for a little while and really happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you here, and I gotta tell you, what a great band name, because I think there's a lot of people out there being killed by sorrow right now. We need to unite with some killer metal and get rid of all that sorrow, and because the end is near.
Well, that's a good way to put it there. Thanks for plugging in their latest song there called The End Is Near. We've been working really hard on this last studio album, actually. This is their third release of this upcoming album called Empire of Excess, and should be available, the whole album. We're looking for October or November. Those are pretty much where we're going to be releasing the whole thing.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about your band for the listeners that don't know your band. And I don't mean like a genre, because I think artists nowadays are so boxed into these micro subgenre bullshit labels. And I'd rather hear the artists tell me how they would explain their music.
Well, I come from, a generation where it was just called metal.
Right?
That's what it was.
What a concept.
You could throw everything in there. Metallica, I mean, all these bands were all part of like the metal era, Pantera. That's really what I grew up listening to when I was a kid. We've listened to the Injustice for All tape. I mean, like, that's what we were listening all day long. So obviously we have influence that kind of go back to trash metal a little bit there. Also, we've been compared to, a little bit of Killswitch Engage also, which is something a little bit more recent. Obviously, we don't have a lot of singing vocals in our music, so it's mostly, screaming. So that would take off of some categories. So it's a bit hard to tell, really. I think the best way is just to go out there and listen to it and see if it's something you guys like. You know what I mean?
I think that is key. You got the right attitude there, because I don't care what the label is. If it's good music, it's good music. And like you said, it's just all just heavy, loud, fast music. That's how I kind of describe what I like. If somebody asks me what type of music do I like, I say the heavier, the louder, the faster, the better. Well, what genre? The heavier, the louder, the faster, the better. Doesn't matter the genre.
Exactly. My favorite bands are, Trivium, Honor. They're like the bands that kind of pioneered my listening career. I'm still listening to these bands. What I like about Killed by Sorrow is you'll have a sense of where the song is going. There's actually a riff that comes back. By the second time you listen to it, you'll actually be able to sing some of the lyrics. So I find that's kind of important to be able to identify yourself to something. I know that there's a bunch of different genres out there, but when I can't say when the beginning or the end of the song is, sometimes I get lost into the music that might be presented nowadays.
Yeah, there you go. And it definitely, I am old school where I like that, like, I don't know, there's songs that are my favorite songs that some people, young people nowadays, would never listen to because they wouldn't get past the first 10 seconds. Like you mentioned Metallica, Battery, the first 10 seconds, you would miss one of the best songs ever if you click track to another track during that 10 seconds of calmness.
Who does a 6 minute songs nowadays anyways, you know what I mean? It's
Right?
just that's not what we're doing anymore. It's fast pace. It has to hook you within the first 15 seconds. And also I think that we really the way we listen to music has really changed.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be before. We'd go out there and buy the CD, and that's how we would get to show another of our friends, hey, listen to this, let's listen to the whole CD. Now we're just doing like small launch, we're going to launch one song and then another song, which is okay because that's how you do it. But I miss the good old days where you would listen to the whole damn thing.
And it was an experience, man. You sat there with whether it's the album or CD and looked at all the artwork, looked at the lyrics, and it's like my kids will be in the car and they're like, "Dad, how do you know the lyrics to every single song?" That's how, because we sat there and we listened to it over and over again and read the words while we're listening. And it just implanted in our brain. And nowadays, I think kids are missing a lot of the art of it. And like they're catching the music part of the art, but there's so much more to it.
Yeah, video clips also. I mean, on Spotify, I think there's some songs you can look at the video clip, but those are all things that when the video clip would come out, it would be like, oh my, it'd be like an adventure.
Right?
So now we have also lyric videos, which is really cool. The one that's actually for The End Is Near. It's a little bit like the apocalypse. The songs are not all like that, but this one actually showcases what would happen if something like, I don't know, like coronavirus would be something else. You know what I mean? And my bassist, he's the one who actually did the whole montage of the whole video clip, and it's nice because that'll give you the feel of the lyrics. And when you listen to the video, it goes into the newspaper, and you would see clips of what the song would say into the actual. So I thought the idea, the concept was really really cool for that song there.
I definitely thought the video was super cool for sure.
Yeah.
Videos they tell the story a little beyond the lyrics, and that's what's cool about it. What blows my mind is the stuff we were listening to in the 80s that talked about the apocalypse. It just blows my mind that in 2026 we're still talking about the apocalypse in songs.
Yeah, it's a subject that comes back, and I think with the series about zombies out there and some of the movies, it was fun to kind of put ourselves in this type of situation and actually write the whole lyrics for that song, knowing that was the theme that we were going to use for The End Is Near. So yeah, it was a great experience. We also we launched two other songs at the beginning of the year, Betrayal and the Burial, which the Burial also has a real video clip. That was the first time we actually went out there, and you can actually see yourself, moving on the song, which was a surreal experience. It was the first time I actually did a real video clip with the actual members of the crew. So that was pretty cool too.
Nice. So tell us how Killed by Sorrow all came together. Where were you before Killed by Sorrow, and what led to Killed by Sorrow?
Well, we started when we were kids. I think I was about 18 years old. Metal was something that I used to listen all the time. I bought myself a Marshall big stack and called some buddies up, and we were listening to on Earth, like I said previously, Poison the Well, which was a really big band there in the States where it all started out there, really where the scene started to emerge. So we played for 3 years together, and obviously all the roads went apart there, so the band dissolved. But when COVID hit, we couldn't practice anymore where we used to. The old metal guys weren't scared of catching anything, so that's when the phone went, "Hey, let's jam. Like, what about who gives a shit about COVID? Let's just get together." And that's how we started again the band. I had a few riffs still just playing again, but then my bassist called, and we decided to get together, and we started back Killed by Sorrow after, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years of not playing together. So that was really, really cool.
That is way cool. And yeah, I have said if you're going to take a positive spin on COVID, I think it allowed artists to get creative again, you
Mm.
know, and for live music to be appreciated again, because like you're going on the hamster wheel as an artist all that time in the business. And then, COVID happens and it allowed artists to reevaluate where they wanted their music to go because they had the time to do so.
Yeah, we really had to rethink. We all had side projects that were doing fairly good, but when COVID hit, all the bars were down and everything. So it allowed for other beautiful projects to start. Some of them, unfortunately, died because of COVID, and I think I really took my place into creating this, continuing the legacy of Killed by Sorrow. We went in the studio fairly quick. Also, I think that really helps artists um, to finalize their song. And really, when you go in the studio, if it's a home, whatever it is, home professional studio, it allows you to finish a song and really move on to something else. So we did two small albums within the next years, which is Time Has Come and Careless of the Sadness. And I think that really uh, it brought us to another level, especially to be able to do the songs how they were, recorded. And also, we were able to get some gigs that were pretty big because of those albums. We played with Killswitch Engaged. There's a big festival here in Granby, and that was their first or second gig. We opened for them, and it was just like it was pretty amazing. And because of those albums, that's why they actually booked us, because we had something to present to the promoters.
Nice. And so, how do you see the future of Killed by Sorrow now that you're in full force again?
Well, we'd love to obviously tour outside of, Quebec, but it's always a question of finding the right bands and getting the right contacts in the industry, and also just growing and getting more fans that are appreciating the music. It's hard nowadays to go and get new fans because there's so much music available. It's not like it was previously where there was only a few bands, and if you like metal, you listen to them, and you were part of the crew. So now I think it's harder. It's easier for us to be out there, but I think there's a lot more choice for people. So it's very different from what it was, I think, previously. So we're working hard. The next album, I hope that people are really going to appreciate. I think the quality and the image of this album is a lot more refined than where we were a few years ago. The sound, the bass that's in the album, just the overall mix sounds really amazing. I think we're up there with the biggest band there is there. Offering their products, but now it's really to get contacts, go out there, do shows, talk to people, and eventually get out of, go down to the US for a little tour or something like that. You know what I mean?
We're looking forward to it. You got to hit some festivals here,
Uh-huh.
and I'm putting it out there so that, like Wimmer or somebody else can put you on a festival here and we could see you here in the States because your music is definitely killer, uh, pun intended. And everybody's got to check out Killed by Sorrow. They can go to your website at killedbysorrow.com and check out everything, check out the music, follow on the socials. And is there any final words you want to leave our listeners with that we haven't covered already that they should look out for?
You know what? Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and especially find some team players that share the same vision as you. If it wasn't for my coworkers, helping out the project, some have gone, some have left, but it's all into sharing the same positive vibe and putting the work into it. Practicing and going in the studio, get in the studio, go and record some stuff for people to listen to it. I think that's the key.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait to hear more from you, and thanks a lot for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Welcome. You have yourself a metal day. Take care.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.